tonight. Hello, beautiful Joe, Janet, KK Superstar. How are y'all doing tonight? I want to say this will be a fairly short live stream, but every time I've ever heard a pastor say that in church, service was like 3 hours long. So I do think our last live stream was our shortest so far, which was I think like an hour and 20 minutes. When I started doing lives, my goal was to have them in about an hour, but that proved to be very unrealistic. Um, but I'm going to do the intro, and our topic today is things that I and we have learned throughout our makeup journey. And I have learned some things. And so, hey Tanya, and so I would like for all of us to share and discuss. And so I'm going to go into the intro and then we will jump in, y'all. I feel the tag on the back of this hoodie on my neck. So hello and welcome. My name is Dion. I call this me wiping the screen. I called this, that's better. And I did clean it before I started. I called this the crazy trepidation of YouTube. The crazy knowing it's okay to be your authentic self in a world where people will tell you who and how you should be. The troll part is not caring too much about the beauty community standards. You set the standard for yourself. Try not to feel like you need to use a certain brand, a certain tool, or a certain technique because that's what someone told you in whatever video you're watching. I'm here to tell you, use whatever you want to, however you want to get your makeup on in a way that you are satisfied with it. Thank you for the hearts. Here at the Crazy Troll Nation, I don't know about anywhere else on YouTube in the beauty sphere, we believe in self-acceptance and self-love, embracing our natural features, enhancing them if we want to, when we want to, but never feeling like we have to. Love yourself because of who you are and how you look, even when you're not wearing makeup. I hear people say sometimes, I don't feel put together if I don't have on mascara. I don't feel put together if I don't have on lipstick. Listen, you were put together when you woke up. You know what I'm saying? So makeup doesn't make us. Who we are inside is who makes us, as far as our morals, our ethics, our personality, our characteristics, our quirks, and all of that stuff. So just try to keep that in mind if you feel like you have to do something to be better. You know what I'm saying? And so that was one of the main things I've learned in my journey. And I know I always pick on Tanya when I get to this part. She was with me back my previous channel, Still a Junkie 07. I started watching YouTube, BeautyTube, I think in 2007, and I started doing videos in 2008. She was watching me back then, and I can guarantee if you asked her, she would be like, yeah, she was way different back then. And not to mention the video quality and all of that, but BeautyTube was so different back then. And I kind of wanted to go back to that. It was just about doing makeup. And if you happen to find, any of, not my old videos because they've been deleted a long time ago, but videos where, people were just sitting on their living room floor in front of a window, lighting sucked and my lighting sucked and people were still watching. I was watching on paper towels because that was the only way I can get them to show up, and people loved it. It was really just about the makeup. It wasn't about, oh, you need to have this look to, perfect your look or whatever. It was just about the makeup. It wasn't about brands. It was about the colors, and it was just so much fun back then, and I do miss it. And I am holding on a hope that BeautyTube will get back to just being about the colors and having fun with your makeup and not being so picky. You shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. And when people used to ask me, what kind of camera you have? Listen, this is an Android Samsung phone. It wasn't about fancy equipment and ring lights and, the shadow boxes or whatever, the light boxes. It was just sitting and just having fun with makeup. I'm like, and where are we now? But anyway, so that's one of the main things I learned, and that's why my intro is the way it is, because my beginnings, y'all, it was so hectic. As it is, I think maybe for most people when they're new to makeup. Okay, let me put comments on all messages. Yeah, Tanya's a writer from the start, and I think she found me here through what was that collab? Keep Makeup Fun, Curve collab, keeping it fun with makeup or something. It was KIRF. Keeping it real fun. That's what it was. She found me through that. And she had commented, did you used to have another channel name? I don't know why I always make that voice because that's not how she sounds. And I said, yeah, I used to have Still Junkies 07. She said, I thought that was you. I recognized you. And what's so funny is I went from 14-inch down to 22-inch braids. Like over the years, I just kept getting longer and longer hair. And so recognizing my face and my voice from 10, 20 years ago, hardly any hair from when I always had braids. So yeah, I still look the same. Is that was really cool. So let me see. I enjoy an extended life. I do too. And when I realize when I do makeup, it's going to be long. And I've been trying to shorten my videos, and they're like 30, 40 minutes again. So on the live stream, it's longer because I'm reading comments and all of that stuff. And I do have notes here. Okay, that's amazing. Yeah, since we have such a lively conversation and sometimes speak on topics other than makeup and interact so well together. I agree. Flawless. I woke up like this. That's right. That is right. Yeah, that was the innocence of YouTube beauty community back then. It is so different now. Thank you, Janet. I don't know what happened. Oh my God, Janet. Your Pinsy's gift card is in the middle from when I said before I would send you one because you were working. Oh my gosh, back then there was MAC Coastal Scents Drugstore. Yeah, and also back then, if you didn't wear MAC, you weren't wearing makeup. It was everything, not everything, but MAC was the it girl back then. And I still do love MAC. But yeah, there's so many different brands and things going on right now. You want to collab with, yeah, V, Julia, Michelle, Manuela. There's another one. She would participate sometimes and other times not. And I know her face, but I cannot remember her name. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I don't know what's happening. Thank you so much, Janet. Thank you, Joe. This is the Notoriously Morbid Closing the Circle collection stuff that I used. And there was a problem with some of them shadows. They didn't want to stay pressed. And so I put them back in the but the colors are beautiful. I don't have anything from Coastal Scents at all. And I don't remember if I even tried some. I'm sure I would have because back then, whatever they said in the video I needed to try, that's what I tried. And my intro is personal because that's what I went through. I was doing anything and everything that people in the video said I needed to do. And the thing is like they weren't talking about, oh, keep in mind your eye shape, keep in mind your face shape, keep in mind your undertone. But being new to makeup, and I'm like, oh, that looks pretty. Okay, do this. Okay, I'm gonna do all of that. Buy this. Okay, I'm gonna buy all that. I put it on and be like, what the fuck is this? And I thought it was something wrong with me that I didn't like things that the videos I saw, they were hyping stuff up. So that was a serious learning lesson. But yeah, my intro is very personal. And I do really hope, that it does resonate with people because we will be twisted up behind what somebody says in their video. But so hey Dawn. I'm gonna try to wash my face down so quick. I missed it though. So yeah, you were quick. I appreciate it. So I would like Beauty Over 40. Does she have long salt and pepper hair? And she usually just wears it natural, like just out? I do not remember her name. Good Small Investments. Yeah. And so I would love for us to share because I think all of us in here wear makeup. Even if we don't do videos, we are posting on Instagram or something like that. And Leanna used to participate in that collab too. And it was somebody else that would sometimes participate. Excuse me. I thought something was wrong with me when I didn't like my sons. That one was controversial. I mean, not controversial, polarizing. Some people loved it, and other people like this is trash. I tried so hard to make it work and took that sucker back. I realized then, bump that. I'm gonna buy what I like. Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, that is her. Abstract, salt and pepper, natural hair. What makes it abstract? I mean, her hair is her hair. Hello, Vietnam. How are you? Thank you. So that was the main thing I learned is everything doesn't work for everybody. And even I thought it was something in my hair, like right here, but that's a piece of that clip in the back. Yo, I be seeing things. Yeah, but what makes her hair abstract? Like, why do you say that? Because that's just her natural hair. Um, so that was the main thing I learned because I really thought it was something wrong with me that I didn't like stuff that everybody was, well, seemed that everybody was really loving. And I had to learn, like, no, it's okay. Everything does not work for everybody. And so when I hear people now say stuff like that, I'm like, no. Sorry, y'all. Multitasking, researching brand stuff. Do not apologize at all, KK. We are a multitasking bunch. And you know you fit right in here with what we be doing. We are definitely a multitasking bunch because she wears it not in a fro or formed. To me, it's like a sculpture. I wish I could rock a style like that. Oh, okay. Okay. So you're looking at her hair as art. Okay, I get it. Okay. Because to me, I'm like, that's just her hair. And people do style their hair whichever kind of way. I don't have to do style anything. But anyway. So yeah, that was the main thing I learned. Um, and it was easier back then too. Because you just do what you want to do and people just rocked with you. It wasn't all this bickering, like all these mascara gates and drama gettings and all this stuff. It wasn't none of that back then. It wasn't none of that back then. Like it was just sit here and just playing your makeup and have fun. And now it is just so friggin' different. I didn't know I preferred cool tones, says Dawn. So when I was buying everything up that everyone loved, like Metropolis, which I did love Metropolis, I didn't know what it was I didn't like. I feel you on that one because I and I realized like way after the fact, like 10 years after the fact, that I didn't like me in all cool tone looks. Cool tone leaning neutral, yes. And so I would buy these palettes and they would look kind of pasty and I'm like, I don't like this look. Like why is everybody talking about this palette and I'm putting it on, I'm trying different color combinations with it and I just never liked it. And what it turned out is I didn't like me in all cool tone looks, especially the lighter tone, cool tone shadows. And I just couldn't put my finger on it because new to makeup, I didn't know the lingo. And so I was just like, I'm like, I just didn't like it. And then, of course, people are like, oh, I love the look. And I'm thinking, I don't like it. But okay. So I'm thinking, it looks cute because other people liked it. But deep down, I was like, I don't like this. But I couldn't figure out why until later. Your Dawn doesn't like warm tones. I was the alter ego version of Metropolis. So it took me 4 years to figure. Yeah, because it's like we don't know. Ooh, like we don't know like what it is. It's like something just don't look right, but we can't put our finger on it. I've been looking at some of your looks, Kay, says Joe. They're truly breathtaking. Yo, Kay be doing her thing. Kay be doing the damn thing, like for real. Yeah, and so it's just like I couldn't figure it out either. It's like something just wasn't right. And I remember trying some of the alter ego palettes. Because I'm like, everybody's like, oh my gosh, the formula is so good. I didn't like them. I did try a couple because it's like, oh, this dupe is for this and this dupe, like you were saying, Metropolis. They had other Natasha Denona dupes, and so I purchased a couple, and I'm just like, ugh. But I know now it's just preference in the formulas that we like, and I do really like her formulas. But yeah, it's really just tricky, and it can be frustrating. And a little sad, like when we really believe what people are saying, and it's like, what's wrong with me? Like, why am I like the only one it seems like that feels this way? And sometimes people just don't want to say, or in my case, I didn't have the words to articulate what it was. I didn't like all cool tone looks. Now I buy the original. Yeah, but back then you would buy anything. I mean, me too. I spent so much money doing. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I remember Queen of Blendin. Oh, I remember her, Kay. And this other girl, she was light skinned and her channel was I Craze. It was letter I and capital C, capital R, capital A, capital I, capital Z, I think it was. Yo, the color, like she would do color combinations that was like, how does that friggin' work? And it worked. Like it was just bold color. Oh my gosh. Oh man, I do remember Queen of Blending. Yeah. Her and Eye Craze. And I did try to find them a couple years ago. But I couldn't find them. You do, yeah, her looks though. I would be like, and me being new to makeup when I was watching her, I'm like, because we're seeing like just basic stuff in a way. And so she was like outside the box. And so I was really just so intrigued, like how, like that looks really nice, but damn. Jean Francois, CD, yeah, Perpetude, yeah. Oh my gosh, it was so good back then. There are quite a few channels that are going now. Often I don't catch that they're going. When I came back, I did look up some people from back then. Tanya, she'll remember this one, Miss J, the First Lady. I looked for her. Her channel was here, but she hadn't posted in like, however long. And then it was Ebony somebody who reminded me of Janet Jackson, her Penny character from Good Times, because she looked just like that little girl. And I would be like, why does she look like that girl from Good Times? But I couldn't, I couldn't find them either. Sam and Nick of Real Techniques. Yeah, back then, y'all was just like the good old YouTube days. Now, and with all the drama and stuff that's going on, it's just like, can we just get back to the makeup, the colors, and not even the brands, but can we just get back to the colors and the color combinations and doing different things and just rocking what we want to rock? And that's why my intro is the way it is. Just wear what you want to and just rock it. And another lesson I learned was that even if, for me, I'll speak for me, even if I do a look that I'm just like, if I leave out of here and I'm walking with my head up with confidence, I get compliments every single time I wear makeup. Every single time. Some people say, oh, I heard, talking about brands. I've heard people say, every time I wear Pat McGrath, people are like, oh, that's so pretty. Really? Only when you wear Pat McGrath? Every single freaking time I wear makeup, I get compliments. Every single fucking time when I wear makeup and I'm out in public, I get compliments. Every single freaking time. And so I've learned that even if I've learned to accept it, because I would be like, yeah, it's cute, but such and such. I learned cut out the butt and just say thank you. And I learned that if you just wear whatever you wear in confidence, that's what people pick up on. They pick up on your attitude being a good thing. They're picking up on your confidence. They're picking up on you just rocking it like, yeah, what? They pick up on that every single freaking time I wear makeup and I go out in public, I get compliments, and more than one. And so when they're like, oh, every time I wear Pat McGrath, I get a compliment. That's the only time. I'll be the laugh, but I'm just like, every single time. Every freaking single time. What was the name of the girl who did all the makeup? I don't know, Tanya. She had the Labrador Retriever. Tanya be remembering some details. I don't know who had what dog. I can see her face, but the name escapes me. It escapes me too. I don't have any idea who that was. And Joe says, I understand. When I started, no one used cool tone, so it was years before I realized how much I loved the cool tone look. When was that time frame though? Because I started wearing makeup in 2000. It had to be before 2007. Was it 2007? Yeah, still a Junkie 07. And I was buying cool tone palettes and wondering why I didn't like how they looked on me. You remember John Francois? It's just so different. Candy Johnson. That sounds familiar, but I cannot picture her face. Someone used to watch every single ColourPop review that which I'm practically dead. ColourPop always pumped out a bunch of stuff. And then Asian guy. Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. And I cannot remember his name. Oh man, the Australian lady with the dark hair. I can't remember her name. Yeah. Oh man, YouTube was popping back then. Now it's just a bunch of drama shit and name dropping. I remember a younger guy that was popular. He had MUA after his name. Maybe he was Hawaiian too. Nakia Joy sounds familiar. I think he wore a skull cap in his videos. Hey, Haywood. We're talking about things that we learned. Thank you, Grace, for the makeup brush. We're talking about things that we learned throughout our makeup journey. And it's Candy Johnson. I do remember Candy Johnson. Yo, it was so good back then. Hey, Grace. I'm just like, what happened? I'm hoping it gets back to that. Stir Milan sounds vaguely familiar. But yeah, I missed it. When I came back to YouTube, I was like, what is this? And then I'm like, okay, I'm here to just do makeup. Because the whole, I'm not going to say the whole vibe, because some people still are like, I'm going to just do what I want to do and just rock it. And that's what makes me so appreciative of y'all, because I'm like, I'm gonna just do what I want to do and rock it. And so for y'all to be here and to watch my videos and subscribe, and those who are members, I'm like, damn, like they see my vision and they rocking with it. Like I'm just doing what I want to do. Oh, thank you, Grace. Oh, she sent me another gift. Thank you, a floating heart. And so that's really touching for me, because there are a lot of channels that the content creators doing content that people say they should do, or what they think people should do based on comments to some of their other videos or whatever. And so to be here and just do what I want to do, and for y'all to be on board, I'm just like, damn, these is my peoples. These is my trolls. And that's why here troll is a good thing. Just being different, being yourself, not caring too much what they say, and just rock it. A white guy with blue eyes who is transitioned now. Oh, I don't. Yeah, people started getting PR and brand trips and went down. Yo, that shit was crazy. Yeah, like so much drama shit. Excuse me. I don't like when people drop off without explanation what happened to them. Some come back years later, some haven't. Part of me wished I would have kept my channel and just came back and like changed the name, but it was something what YouTube was doing with my account, and I was just like, you know what, fuck this. So I just like took it all down. Because there are some people who are here now, and when I go to their page, it's like they've been on here since 2002. And so then I'm looking at the video lineup, and I'm like, but they won't even know videos this long. So some people do come back after like 10, 15 years and just pick up and just kind of rebrand their channel. Yeah, some of them are way out of touch. I remember when, y'all gonna know what I'm talking about. When I started watching YouTube back then, her YouTube name was Little Pumpkin. And I loved watching her videos. The last 5 years or so, I don't watch her videos no more. I'm like, I cannot even relate. Like, who are you? And I know people grow, they evolve, they change, and all of that stuff. But I was just like, she's like a completely different person. And again, we do change, we grow, and all of that. But and I thought about that doing when you mentioned Tati seems way out of touch. Yeah. And I used to watch Marlena back then. Somewhere along the line, I'm like, girl, no. Because and again, people grow, change, evolve, whatever you want to call it. But I just, yeah, who I watch right now is like, so I'm just like, this is my bubble right here. Because I can't go through PR emails now. Yo, some of them people be funny. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I agree. But Tanya says, Joe, Tati was amazing when she did the coupon video. So I usually watch her now. I don't watch her now either. Yeah, Jackie. And what's funny is when she started doing that, she would say, yeah, that's a hook from a song or whatever. And it was always somebody in the comments, you should make that your song. And people will comment, it's already somebody else's song. So it's not a new thing that people don't read comments or don't pay attention. But I used to always laugh when the comments that is already a song. And people comment, and you should make that a song. It already somebody else's song. So it's not new that people don't really listen or pay attention. But I always thought that was funny. I was on your channel set for 12 years or so. Yeah, because I went back and was looking at some of your older stuff, Kay, and I'm like, wow, what? And it's so good to see, though, like to see like where somebody was and like where they are now, and to be like, damn, they did the damn thing. Yeah, I was looking at some of your older videos. I didn't get her palette, Joe, because I think at least 2 of the shades was pressed pigments, and I have adverse reaction to pressed pigments. But something else I learned, and I do think is that on my list. I have a really short list. I have 5 things on this list. But something I didn't put on here that I learned, which surprised me, it was a palette that I purchased knowing that all the shades were not going to show up on me. And I'm not talking about the bronze palette because they show up, they just all look the same. All the colors just look the same. And that was a new thing for me because I had the mindset back then of if I cannot wear all the shadows in this palette, I'm not going to buy the palette. And so even so her palette having two pressed pigments in it, I didn't buy it for that reason. And people loved it and people were talking about it. And I'm just like, I can't wear it, I ain't using it. And so what I forget what palette it was that I purchased. And I knew I wasn't going to use at least like two of the shades, or they would just be like not their shades. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, and I remember saying it when I used the palette in the video. I remember saying back in the day, I would have never even bought this because I knew I wasn't going to use all the shades in that palette. And what's interesting about that is on, oh, what is her name? Damn it. On Instagram, she's brown skin and she was decluttering some of her palettes. And she was saying how, like, she buys certain brands knowing that she's not going to be able to use every shade in that palette because of her complexion. And I was just like, because I was like, if I can't use everything, I'm not buying it. And here she was saying, you know, she buys stuff sometimes knowing she's not going to be able to use everything that's in there. And so that kind of made me be like, And so what it came down to is, I forget her name. Oh man, and I hate that I forget her. I think her name was Monica something on Instagram. And what she was saying was, if she feels like she can get her money's worth out of the palette, meaning how much she would use it and using, you know, the other stuff she could use, if she felt like she was going to get her money's use out of it, then she would still get it, even knowing she couldn't use like certain shadows. And that was a game changer for me, hearing her explain that. And so that made me think like, so why do I not buy a palette if I know I can't use every shade in the palette when there's people out here that will buy it knowing they can't use every shade? And so it gave me a different perspective. Like, am I going to get my money's use out of it? And another lesson that I learned that's not on my paper is I felt like I had to use as much as possible of whatever product it was. And somebody said to me, for them, it wasn't about using every bit of every product, but are they going to get what they think the palette was worth or whatever they paid for it? And y'all know we be using, hey, Michelle, coupons and stuff like that. So she said for her is if she feels like she's going to get her money's worth out of it, whether she uses all of it or not. And that was a game changer for me too, because I'm not going to stress myself out making myself use something just to use it, except when I get a new palette. I do make a point to make sure I use every shadow in it before I give it a nap and then come back and just do other stuff with it. But that was a game changer for me too. It changed my perspective on, just because I don't use every little bit doesn't mean I didn't get my money's worth. Did I get out of it what I wanted to get out of it? And that's why, like with Pedomorphosis, y'all knew. I told y'all, I'm not keeping this palette. I just want to see what I could do with it. And I think I did 12, 13 looks with it, and then it went in my Macari store. Speaking of Pedomorphosis, what's interesting is when, I'll just say Pat McGrath Labs, because we know it ain't Pat. Pat is out living her best life. She's like, Labs who? Last one I checked, the lavender case one was on the site, but the black ones had sold out. And I thought that was ironic because when it first came out, the lavender ones disappeared. Like they sold out, they were gone, and it was only the black lacquer ones. Now, last I looked about a week ago, the black ones were not available and only the lavender ones was. And so maybe they just kept reproducing the lavender ones. But I found it and still find it interesting that the lavender ones were the only ones available and the black ones wasn't. Okay, I'm backing up for comments. Yeah, and so here, and that's why it's important to me. I'm reading your comments too, Kay. You said, yeah, the same for you. Is when people explain why they feel the way they do. And that's how I am with makeup. Like if I don't like something, okay, I don't like it because blah, blah, blah. And the reason I give might be irrelevant to somebody else. You know what I mean? So when they're just like, oh, I don't like, well, why? Or if you feel this way, Why? That helps me because it gives me something new to think about. And I may agree or I may not, but it gives me something to think about. And I used to love, and I still do love channels when people explain like their point of view or their thought process. The only ABH palette I went nuts over is still Nirvana 5. Yeah. You still have yours. And I found out I don't like huge palettes either. Like 15, like Metropolis had 28, but they were smaller pans. And the size of it was not, like these huge things. Because it's just, it could be too much. It says Mita has Velatofana, which I think is 30 shades, but it doesn't look like a monster for some reason. Tanya, yes, mostly purple. It says, she did. When she started reposting in March, you had 125 subs from 15 years ago. Yeah, and it's ironic that I don't look at who I'm subscribed to. Like, I don't, like, so people will still be there from, like, a decade ago. And what's crazy is sometimes now, YouTube will unsubscribe people from our channels. And I'm just like, why? Like, is there a time frame they need to watch? And if they don't, YouTube unsubscribes them, which doesn't make sense because there are still people from, like, a decade ago when we weren't here. And they're still subscribed. So, like, I don't know what be happening. Yeah, it's just, YouTube is a weird place. You got 2 from BoxyCharm again, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they probably were like really excited to see her back. No, says one gal came back after a long time, made 2 videos and disappeared again. No more IG anymore either. I know of people who. Hey, Michelle, did I speak to you earlier, Michelle? I feel like I did, but then I'm looking and I'm like, I don't know, because I see you waving, so I'm like, did I not say? That would be cute, but they probably don't even watch. There's some people who, like, if I'm going to talk about something or say something I know is controversial, I'll be like, this is controversial. And I don't care if you disagree with me, just come correct, meaning comment on what I'm talking about. Don't be like, oh, the thumbnail. We ain't here to talk about the thumbnail. So speaking of which, oh my gosh, somebody recently watched my Sydney Grace video and left a comment like, oh, it's your fault because you didn't read. They have the description of the bundles. And so I commented back, y'all, people are funny. I commented back and I said, I don't think you watched or maybe didn't listen to or maybe didn't comprehend everything I said in the video. But I remember saying that I did read it and the information was not there. And then along the lines of being in and out of touch with Sydney Grace, they told me they were going to change the information. So maybe you just didn't know what it was before. Because they said they was going to change it, and apparently they did. And I know that they did because I checked it after they said that. So people will say shit and not even, like just look up shit before you say shit because then you're really just talking shit. Because they did tell me they were going to update the information, and they really did. And for those who were saying, I was bashing a brand. For those of you who saw that video, how many times did I say, support the brand, it's a good brand, thank you for the hearts, the customer service is amazing? How many times in that video did I say that? So how the fuck are you coming here commenting saying I'm bashing the brand? You didn't watch the whole video, that's what it was. If I watch a video and somebody says something, I'm just like, okay, that's some bullshit. I'll just click off the video. I don't comment because in my mind, I'm like, later on, they might roll back to that. I just click off the video. So people comment shit, and I'm like, and somebody was like, oh, and that thumbnail she picked. I said, it got you watching, didn't it? That was my comment back to that person. So I'm just like, it's just be stupid. But I was like, support the brand. It's a good brand. Customer service, great, this and that. But yeah, I was just like, and Nina, hey girl, she's not here yet, but she be replay crew for real. She be rocking. Nina said she found me through that video and she liked how authentic I was and how I was explaining what happened and blah, 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 blah. And I wasn't really bashing the brand. I was like, still support the brand. The customer service is great. Da, 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 da. And yeah, she found me and subscribed to me from that video. And I'm like, damn. But it's just really funny. And then I'm like, how old is that video? And you're just going to comment a falsehood. Oh, so I didn't read. Yeah, I did read. They changed the information since then because of that situation. Dumbass. Well, not dumb, just, yeah, dumb, because they didn't think to look stuff up. It was crazy. And even the thing with Inslee Rain, I talked about my experience, and my experience is what my experience is. And so if somebody disagree with my experience, it is what it is. What happened is what happened. So what? Oh man, sometimes I can't figure out why I don't like a look. Usually it's the wrong blush. Oh, Tanya, she'll use it. More blush. And Janessa, we don't wear one blush. We wear 6 blushes. Citra keeps saying she loves my makeup. Thank you, Citra. This is Notoriously Morbid Closing the Circle I used today. And I used the 2 giveaway purchases too. So this is all loose shadows that I pressed. There was an issue with 3 of them. But we used them. This is a look. And I am loving it, y'all. And look how this looks like it's purple and then it fades. But look, it's green. There are like so many colors going on. I love it. You're not in the huge palettes anymore. 12, 15 shades seem big enough for me. Yeah, in Metropolis, like I said, it was 28, but it was the same size as maybe like Lila or something like that. It wasn't like this huge monstrosity. I don't like big palettes either. Huge palettes are so inconvenient. Yeah, because you store them, and then if you go to pack them to go somewhere. Oh, okay. Thank you, Michelle, because I was like, did I say hi there? Yeah, I realized they kind of overwhelmed me too. I remember this brand called Cargo from back in the day. I used to see it at Ulta. The pins, the pins were like this big. And I'm like, there ain't no way I'm gonna buy that. And it was like one palette had like 6 pans in it, but the pans were so freaking huge, and I never bought it. I'm like, that's too much. People love to comment trash for no reason. Yeah, just not listening. And I said in the video that they said they were going to change the information, and when I looked, they had changed the information. But you come in here comment, and I can't read because what I said isn't what it said. Well, they changed the information. A completely innocent comment because a bunch of hate. People just silly. Someone got kicked out of a stream by a moderator the other day and came back and scolded me on another post and said I was silencing them. I was like, I didn't even do it personally, but okay. And that's funny that they came back. So it was just like, if you get kicked out, stay the fuck out. Like, why are you here? Apparently you weren't welcome. So certain channels I just say hi because people can be such jerks on the subject. Yeah. Isn't that the truth? When I got crucified on Facebook recently for saying I don't understand how people end up with 10 plus loads of laundry because they wait to do laundry. They just wait to do laundry. Yeah, that would be like me saying, like, like some people with makeup brushes, they be like, oh my gosh, all my brushes are dirty except these 3. That would be like me saying, why all your brushes dirty? Wash your brushes. Just because I wash mine after every use, and if I don't wash them, I still use clean brushes, and so I might end up with 4 days worth of brushes to wash. But everybody just doesn't have the same pattern we do, and so I wouldn't even say, oh, that must mean you don't wash your brushes, because what they do is what they do. Like it's not for me to judge, like, why. And so I'm not saying I don't know why maybe that's where they were coming from. Like, why are you saying you don't understand it? And then if you don't, that's cool. But sometimes people take things a different kind of way. And there's a lot of stuff I don't understand. So if I don't understand it, I just don't say anything. I just be like, well, that's what they do. Wow, when you feel the need to seek someone out after the fact on YouTube, you should reevaluate your life. Absolutely, Tanya. Yeah, I can see that too, Dawn, because sometimes people are just busy or they just have a lot to do. And laundry, like even for me, I know it's time to do laundry when I'm running out of clean underwear. And yes, I do change my underwear every day. And I do have I have a lot of pairs of underwear. So for me, and I don't go out every day. And so, I wear whatever I wear, put it in the laundry. Put it in the dirty clothes basket or whatever. And so I don't think about laundry. But when I go to take out a clean pair of underwear, and I'm like, damn, I only got like 10 clean pair. I need to wash clothes. That's how I know when I wash clothes is when I start running out of clean panties. And so I can see, somebody having, 10 loads. But I feel like I did 10 loads a day, but it was more like 3. But it felt like a lot. Yeah, I can see having 10 loads. And then it depends on too, like my last marriage, he had got me front load washer and dryer. And the washer and dryer was so huge, had so much space in it, it fit a king size comforter. Like seriously. And y'all know king size comforters is huge. And I had told my neighbors, they had queen size stuff. I said, y'all need to wash all comforters or duvets, just let me know and y'all can come over and wash it over here. And so it would be like we would put all the darks in one load. The next load would be all the lights. That was it because it was so big. But now that I'm in an apartment with an apartment size washer and dryer, one hamper full of dirty clothes, excuse me, might be 4 loads because the machine is smaller. You know what I mean? So it could be a lot of different reasons. But yeah. Cause she didn't have an attitude, but it was like 8 o'clock at night or something, and I was telling her, cause my buzzer went off for the dryer, and she's like, "Oh, what's that?" I said, "Oh, it's my dryer. I'm washing clothes." And she said, and she got quiet, and then she said, "Oh, well, maybe because I do mine earlier in the day." And so I'm thinking like, I said, "Well, I said I start mine earlier in the day too." I said, "But you have to remember, you're in a house with a house washer and dryer. I'm in an apartment with an apartment size washer and dryer. So I have to do smaller loads because they're smaller machines, which means it's going to take me longer to wash and dry my clothes." She had never thought of that. She was like, "Oh, well, maybe because I start earlier in the day. Like, this is late to be doing laundry." People just don't think like there's another way of living than their own personal life. And I find that a lot when people say things. And then when I explain it, they're like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." But, you know, everybody's life is not the same. Because I was like, "Girl, bye." Yeah, right? If you don't like that person, don't watch. Just click off. It's a trend on TikTok. I refuse to install TikTok when people have mountains. Like, they might be doing it just for the clicks, to be honest. You know what? I made it a point. I said when I was leaving the second dude, I said I'm gonna have everything I want in my apartment: garbage disposal, washer, dryer, smoke detectors, fire extinguishers. I'm not dishwasher. I'm not going nowhere. Like, no, I want everything in here. I'm like that, and nah, that's nuts. And there are quite a few here. And people always want to park illegal in front of the parking lot, which blocks traffic going this way and that way. So then you gotta, inconsiderate asses, just freaking park your car and not illegally park in front of here, because then you're blocking people from. It's a wonder there's not a lot of accidents over there. I would like to know. Hey Nick, how are you? I would like to know what you think about Il Makiage products that are always being advertised. It seems to be excessive and expensive. What is your take on that? Feel free, my trollkin, to respond, because I don't have an answer. I never did get anything from Il Makiage because I suck at trying to figure out what foundation shade that I need. And when I used to be like, "Oh, okay, this is my shade, buy it," I was always wrong. And so I never purchased anything from them because, excuse me, I was convinced I was going to buy the wrong shade. But if anybody in here has tried Il Makiage, please chime in and let Nick know what your experience was with that. I understand the importance of them, but I just can't do it. The importance of, excuse me if you heard that in my throat, because y'all know I talk and keep going. So they're lugging stuff back and forth. And I'm so glad I didn't. Y'all know I live on the 3rd floor. I'm like, hell, no. I returned everything I tried, Nick, says Janet. And that's what I was concerned about. So I'm like, nah. So why did you return it, Janet? Like, did you not like it? Was it not the right color? Like, what are the details for Nick? Tanya, that was me until 1999. Then I finally had a laundry room in the complex. Then in 2002, I finally have a washing department. I'm like, look, this apartment gonna have everything I need. The main thing for me though also was being in a safe place where I wouldn't be afraid to come home after it was dark outside. Because some of these places is kind of sketchy, but this is a really good place where I'm at. Joe says, everyone I know that tried Il Makiage returned it. Oh, damn. But why, Joe? They didn't like it. It was the wrong color. What was it? What's the deets? Let Nick know the deets. You're welcome, Nick. Louis Janet, I enjoyed my foundation, a couple lippies. You got quad. Are you talking about Il Makiage stuff, Tanya? And you got a quad from Ipsy One's pretty good products to me. Tanya, though, are you talking about Il Makiage? Yeah, I don't hear people talking about no more doing. I remember it was like it used to be all over Instagram like years ago. Who's getting Lethal X SpongeBob? Says Michelle. You know, not me. I'm still a nobody, and it does not interest me. I saw the color story, and I'm just like, why? But you know what? Somebody's gonna love it. How many brands are doing SpongeBob? Is there another? Janet tried Oh Makiage Primer, Concealer, Foundation. None were special. Tanya said I wouldn't run out to buy Oh Makiage, but your foundation match was on point and great formulation too. Okay. So it goes back to a preference thing. So Janet didn't like hers, Nick, but Tanya did. And that's the thing with makeup. Some people love it, and some people be like, and other people like, nah. Joe says the 3 friends that got the foundation stupid out was cakey. Then the lady down the road said the eyeliner didn't last on her watery eyes. That is a common problem. That's why I like NYX and MAC and Hong Van Gogh eyeliners for my inner rooms. Nobody talks about Ofra or Dosa Colors either. Maybe they don't launch new stuff. I want them to do Nima Tang stuff individually. This is my backup chocolate chip. No, I don't think this is the backup one. Because I wanted the liquid lipstick and I wanted the lip liner. I didn't want the bullet lipstick and I didn't want the gloss. The gloss I did like the color because it was dark, but I was really wishing that they just did each thing individually, because I definitely would have repurchased the lipstick, and I do have so that means I did purchase 2 sets. And I think the first set I went in with somebody. I'm like, well, you like bullet lipstick, so I'll keep the liquid and the liner, and you take the bullet and the gloss. And they were like, okay. And I probably would have tried the orange if I could have just got like the liquid lipstick. But yeah, I think it's because they don't come out with stuff. And I did like their palettes. I had Smoky Soiree and the green one that you have. I think it's called Cutting Edge. But it was like, You just did a video on those pound. It was good. Is that the one where you compared it to Victoria Beckham? I know who do still talk about Ofra. Smith at the Pack. She has a collab with them for, I think it was a highlighter. And she was using it and talking about it the other day. Excuse me. Now keep in mind, Suzanne, I don't wear primer, concealer, or foundation. That's my opinion, doesn't mean much. A lot of people don't wear primer. Some people count on their sunscreen to be their primer. Some people count on their moisturizer to be their primer. So a lot of people don't. I find that I just like how my foundation looks better with it, but there's a lot of people who don't. Primer is basically a silicone and overpriced. To me, the foundation shade is my skin tone in the bottle. Of course your opinion counts, Janet. Tell her, Joe. That's right. Yeah, that was a good one because the looks did look alike. But because I had that Cutting Edge, that one shade, I'm like, I said, that's Cutting Edge. Because I remember how bright it was. And some luxury brands, their shimmers don't really be shimming. So it's just like, and I'm like, that's Vicky over there. And I'm like, this one is Cutting Edge. And I turned out I was right. Pending the Glaminatrix release. The Lethal Collection minus the blotting paper is said to be the first whole collection you pick up. Oh, okay. So another thing I learned was, where am I going to start on this list of 5 things? Oh, what I learned was, one of the things I learned was don't subscribe to subscription boxes. Now, mind you, these are things I learned from me. With my sensitive ass skin and having skincare that I like, I don't want to receive random skincare stuff. And so my subscription boxes was going in giveaways. It was just going away to people just to try stuff. When I was promoting Eclectic Beauty, I was, putting stuff in there to give away to shelters. And I'm just like, why am I paying for this just to give everything away? It might be one thing in there, maybe one thing. It was good for content, but at that time I wasn't monetized. So I'm like, well, this ain't I'm not really. There's no return on my investment, as Kay would say, to do these videos, to get these boxes and do videos. I'm not making no money off of them. But and I learned quick that them icon boxes Ipsy did was trash, because it would be like lipstick, lip gloss, eyeliner, and it's just like okay, so this Pat McGrath icon box don't have Nair palette in it. Natasha, the older one, might have that the one little single shadow. So it was always like, ooh, that's this brand. And you end up with little trinkets. I stopped subscription boxes years ago. Had BoxyCharm for a little while. I can say, Janet, I like BoxyCharm better than Ipsy. And when Ipsy bought BoxyCharm, I remember thinking it should have been the other way around. Because then BoxyCharm ended up shit like Ipsy was. But then some people loved Ipsy more than Boxy. I like BoxyCharm more than Ipsy, because to me the stuff was more to, it was more stuff that I was willing to try. Ipsy, I was just like, no, I don't want 4 skincare items. No. But so I always thought it should have been the reverse, but yeah, so no subscription boxes for me. Unless it's from like a brand. But then I don't know, because I'm thinking like if Natasha Denona did one, because I haven't tried her foundation. I tried her concealer, that was it. Y'all know I used her eyeshadow. Man, that's it. I think Grace likes her foundation. I haven't even tried. I did try something before. It was a foundation a while ago. It was on clearance. Thank you for the hearts. And I purchased it, and it made my skin itch. I was like, oh, hell no. Hey, Locke. I was like, oh, hell no. Locke, we're talking about lessons we learned throughout our makeup journey. I don't miss it, especially since you have access to Drop Shop. They send me, okay, like I appreciate it. They still be sending me. Oh, I gotta backtrack. Okay, what was I gonna say? They be still sending me emails for that too, and then I'll look at that stuff and be like, I don't want this stuff. So it's like this, right? For me. If I didn't like the stuff enough every month to keep the subscription, why the hell am I going to shop in the store? Because it's the same stuff that I didn't want that was in the boxes. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I'll look at it to see if anything changed. I'm like, the same stuff. No. You only did the Beauty List mystery box after the second time, also years ago. I did get the Lethal mystery box 2 years in a row, and I would order 2 each because they would go on sale for half off. I'm like, 2 for 1, hell yeah! And so one I already knew I was going to give away, and I did use their stuff, but like the last couple of years I didn't, for whatever reason. Ipsy don't know what they want to do. They just renamed all the tiers again. You still do FabFitFun and Allure, Joe? Somebody, who else does Allure? Probably Arlene, because she does a lot of unboxings. Oh, there you are, Kay. Primer just boils down to being a pre-makeup step. Some people don't think about that step having properties to provide more benefits, smoothing, blurring, oil control. Yeah. That moisturizer I use from Dr. Dennis Gross is supposed to be like blurring or whatever. I don't see a difference in their face serum, because he does stuff in the whole line. And so it's like the serum, the face serum, the moisturizer, and then the eye cream. And it's all like in a golden container, and then his other lines is whatever color that is. But I really don't notice a difference. But then I don't take before and after pictures either, so I don't know. Yeah, I like mixing my primer with the foundation, because for one I use less of both, and I just like how it just goes on a little bit better. And I can honestly say I have not ever tried foundation without using a face primer. So I don't even know, like, would it be any different? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have a comparison point for that. But like Alicia Archer, she uses her, sunscreen as her primer. And a couple other people I watch, they just count on their moisturizer being their primer. But I don't have a reference point for that because I've never tried it. Okay. Yeah, so no subscription boxes. And if I were to get a mystery box, it would be with the thought of, I'm gonna give most of it away anyway. So then it's like, why? Yeah, Arlene is the sub box queen. Man, she be getting Walmart boxes. I'm just like, girl, she be having boxes I ain't never heard of. Well, I did hear of the Walmart one, but she be having all of those. Locke says she learned makeup takes me longer to use up than real life. Oh, that's something on my list. Oh, these pens get me. I think, oh, almost done. Nope. They are here to stay. That's why I need to slow my roll on the new. I'm tempted still. Yeah. Does mixing the foundation and primer not shear down your fine? For me, it doesn't. Um, you know what? Let's do a test. Let's do a test for K. Oh my Lord, on the back of my hand. No, it doesn't for me. That's a good question. And honestly, I never even thought about it, to be honest with you. The only sub I get is Walmart 4 times a year, $9 a box, but that's enough. Do you use the stuff in there though? Be tempted but not to buy. Yeah, it doesn't shear it down for me. And I do know that from when I used to do primer first and then put the foundation on, and then when I mixed it, it was still the same. So let's do primer. I don't want to squeeze out a lot. Primer. Now, this is a lot thinner. This is the soft matte one. I am down to here. I opened these both October 5th. This is the luminizing foundation. It's like up to here. This is a whole lot thicker than this. And so we are going to, let's put the foundation next to, I'm trying real hard not to squeeze out a lot. This is thick. And then we're going to just do a line of just the foundation. All right. Yeah, y'all, Kay got me swatching on my hand. Y'all know I don't be doing this. Love you, Kay. That was a really good question. You would think that is. We're going to see. We're going to see. But when I would do it, when I was doing them individually, I didn't notice it shearing it down. We use 3 different Real Techniques brushes. So we have primer, foundation. We're going to mix those, and then we have just foundation. This is a very good question. For the most part, I use it, says Tanya about the Walmart box. Basically, keep it to get the sub box filling without getting bombarded with products every month for a monthly expense. Don't be sorry at all. That was a good question. So we're going to blend out the primer, which doesn't matter because that's clear. So this is the primer right here. That is the primer. You know, let me get my my cellar water ready because y'all know I'm messy. Let me get out my little. I put some of the I used one of these to put the cotton rounds in. This is what I used to have my lippies in. So when I would move one, like 5 or 6 would fall over. And so even though this one is loud, like nothing falls over. This is just loud. Yeah, but that used to have my lippies in there. Which one did I use? This one's wet, so that's the one we use for primer. So we're gonna sit that to the side. This is just foundation. If I didn't have anything on my face, I would do it on my face. So that's the foundation. And I blends it out. So that's the foundation. Put that brush over there. That Fenty Hydrating Gripping Primer isn't gripping me at all. I didn't even try it. I'm just so, I just really like the soft lit one and the soft matte one, but I didn't like the soft lit with the hydrating foundation because to me it made me look shiny and I don't like to look shiny. And so that's why I mix. I use the soft matte primer with the illuminizing foundation, and I'll use the illuminizing primer with the soft matte foundation. And so this is the foundation. So now we're going to mix the primer with the foundation, and we're going to go this way so we don't mix it over here with just the foundation. And so maybe a tiny bit, or maybe I have more foundation over here, but yeah, so it does look a little bit, but is it because of I can't see. So that's what it is. So right here, they kind of look the same. Yeah. So yeah, I would say no. And also, it would depend on, well, not also, it would depend on, but I use 2 pumps of this primer on my palette. I use 2 pumps of that and 1 pump of this because this is so much thicker. And I'm just like, yeah, but that's what it looks like. Yeah. And maybe for some foundations it would. It looks like it did to you. And I'm wondering if it's the lighting though, or if I had more foundation over here, like I don't know. But when I wear it though, like my face looks even. But it's not enough where I would be like, oh yeah, I need to use them separate. You know what I mean? That is so weird. Yep, so I'm gonna clean this off. That was a really good question. It looks more luminous and transparent. This is the luminizing foundation. Yeah, but using that with the luminizing primer, I was like, oh, hell no. Walking around looking, some people might have said glowy, but to me, it looked greasy. And maybe because I don't really know where the line is. So I was like, oh, no. I think I did that like twice. And I'm like, no, not doing that again. So then I started switching up. And that might, well, I was going to say that might be why too, because that is the luminizing foundation. And sometimes stuff that's shiny just looks lighter. Like, I don't know. All clean. That was a great question. And I never even thought about it because when I wear it, like, it ends up being my complexion. And my whole face ain't the same shade. So if it did do that, it still works. It still be. Did you fall off? So that was one lesson, not to buy subscription boxes, not to subscribe to subscription boxes. Along to what Lot was just saying about the time it takes to use stuff up. I have started buy fewer backups, consider the time frame of using something up. And that's for skincare, because I would stock up on skincare, and some stuff I do go through in like 5 or 6 months, but some stuff it does take like 8 to 9 months. The PAO is usually 12 months. But yeah, I have enough backups for probably, it depends. The Drunk Elephant stuff, I have enough for maybe, at least a year. And that's going to be my thing going forward, is just have enough for that year. So whatever I'm using, plus for the next year. Because some of the Drunk Elephant, I do go through in like 8 or 9 months. And they're expensive. Then this stuff is expensive. Heater stuff is expensive. And so that's something I wasn't taking into consideration when I was buying all them backups. When they would be like 50% off, I'm like, oh, hell yeah, let me get 4 more. And then I'm like looking at my stash like, girl, you got that serum for like a decade. Like, and so that's something I learned to buy fewer backups, taking into consideration how long it takes to use stuff. As I said, this primer is down to here. I opened this in October. This is January. So we're talking about, what, 3 months? And I do have another label. Hi, my name is Dion. I'm a label whore. I have this one. I finished the last one in 6 months. But if I open this October 5th, November, December, January, that's 3 months. This is down to here because it's the only primer I use. At the same time, I'm about halfway with the foundation. And so I do use up foundations. I do use up concealers, eye primers, mascaras, powder. Because I only use one brand for it. I pulled an eyeliner. I only used one, says Tanya. That was still in the box, and that sucker didn't want to deposit any color. I rubbed it on my hand to try to warm it up. Nope, in the trash. Yeah, some stuff, yeah, they will dry out. Cases sometimes I mix matte and natural dewy together to get a happy medium. Yup, and that's what I do with that one, because using just the glowy and the glowy was too much. And I did start, of course, with the matte primer and the matte foundation, because that's what she had. But then when the Luminous came out, I was curious. And I'm like, But I didn't like the luminizing with the luminizing. And so that's when I'm like, let me just, the primer from this one, the foundation for that one. And I really like that mix. And I do think it looks better on me than the matte with the matte. And not that I thought my face looked dry, but it was just something about it. I just like it mixed. And so I've been doing that for a while. Yeah. And that's something I learned too, is mixing stuff. Because like, still at Junkie 07 days, if this is the primer that they sold with the foundation, that's what I'm going to use. And I wouldn't have even thought, use a different primer. And I do still have a tendency to use a line of stuff. You can see that with my skincare stuff. Because if I like one thing in the brand, I'm curious to try other stuff. But I do also really like the Milk primer. And that works to me. Hey, Alicia. We're talking about things that we learned throughout our makeup journey. And so I have learned, for me, the Milk primer works with the foundations I use. And so when this is done, I'm going to use it until this is done, and then just open up a new one of the matte and the luminous. Because I do really like that. And I do, when I was using the Milk primer, I do use that up too. Granted, I probably got it. KVD. Oh, yeah, that was old. That was old. Did anybody ever figure out what KVD means after Kat Von D left? You know what? I knew what it was, but I filed it away somewhere, and I think I burned the filing cabinet. Because I remember hearing what it was, but I don't remember what it is. Hey, Nick, I'm such a newbie when it comes to makeup. Have you figured out how to keep makeup from transferring onto collars or clothing? I don't put makeup on my neck. When people, they're doing their foundation and they do all, I don't do all that because I don't know. Setting powders and finishing sprays like helps for me. But I don't know. I don't have, excuse me for smacking, I don't really have an answer for that. Because even when stuff says it's transfer free, for me, it may still transfer. So I don't know. They said it's literally just letters, not an acronym for marketing. They probably didn't want to veer too far off. Yeah, because even with the Scandinavia, the makeup finishing spray, I love this stuff. And what I found with this is, it does lock my face in. And I did use this earlier today. Look at my face. Look at my face. And I will still sweat though. And for me, like sweat, I'll have like beads of sweat, like in this area right here. And I'll just take a tissue and just tap it off, and my face looks like it did when I first did my makeup. And that's because it is. Because there used to be a time when I would pat my face with a paper towel, it would just pull off all the makeup. But then again, that's not whether it transfers or not. But I would think that, like, if I was really sweating profusely, then I think it would transfer. Yes, I don't have an answer for that because I really don't know. Janessa might be a good one for that question because even when we do collabs, she'll change her outfit like 3 times. And I'm like, how's your makeup still on your face if you keep changing your clothes? Like, I don't know. Yeah, I apologize. I don't know. Transfer free is a gimmick, says Kay. Friction does what friction does as it pertains to collar transfer. And that's why I never come down my neck. Because even though I have this on, and it is like a V-neck, and this one I just cut up because it was too tight on my neck. And I'm like, oh, hell. So that's why this is looking like that, because I cut it. Yeah, I don't put foundation down my neck. If I'm doing somebody's makeup, and of course in the warmer months, if they're wearing like a low-cut top or a scoop neck or something, I may or may not still bring it down because it's not, their shirt isn't up to here. You know what I mean? It might be something like this. And so then I may come down here because there's nothing to touch it. But I don't, yeah, I kind of think it's a gimmick too, but I haven't tried it to see. I remember back in the day, after Little Pumpkin became Jackie Aina, as if that wasn't what her name was anyway. She did her face, and then, she edited out and came back and had on a white turtleneck. And so the comments was like, how'd you get the turtleneck on and you ain't mess up your makeup? And she has said that she had put a paper towel on her face. And I'm just like, what? And I can't picture that. I have trouble picturing that because for me, when I put on a shirt, especially a turtleneck, I'm using two hands because you got to stretch it over my big ass head. And so I'm like, how did the paper towel stay on your face while you're putting on a turtleneck? But that's what she said she did. I don't know. Me neither. I know I'll wear white with makeup. And when I watch like Hung Van Gogh, Natasha and all of them, their person always has on like spaghetti strap, whatever thing. So yeah, they can come all the way down because all they got is two little straps over here. They don't even have like this space right here. It's just wide open all the way. But that's what they say do. I'm like, I'm going through comments. Shiny said, well, that didn't help too much. I think Janessa would be a good one to ask because she be changing her clothes a lot. And I'm like, how your face didn't move? I mean, I don't know. Great suggestion, says Nick. I do know for me, as far as my face staying on my face, setting powder does help for that. And a finishing spray. Not a setting spray, but a finishing spray. And it is a difference. And on the Scandinavia website, they do talk about the difference between a setting spray and a finishing spray. I love this stuff. I love it. Yeah, Lisa, me neither. She says she don't care that her neck is different color. Yeah, I don't either. And you know what it is? Everybody's neck is a different color than their face. Like, it's normal. I understand, if you're doing photo shoots and stuff like that, or you're on the runway or whatever, you want everything to look the same, but it's not natural. But then y'all know we trolls, we natural, we love how we look regardless of how we look, right? We love ourselves. And so to me, it's not a big deal. And I appreciate Hung Van Gogh because he was saying in one of his videos, and he was doing someone, and it was a person of color. And we seem to have more color differentiation than non-people of color. And he was saying, and she was brown skin. And so he was saying, looking at her face, and most of us do have like darkness around here. And Danessa talked about it in one of her master classes. I think it was like a year ago. She was working on like a chocolate. Oh my gosh, her complexion was so beautiful. And she was saying, and Hung Van Gogh was saying, you decide which color you want to match. Do you want to match the neck to the face, or do you want to match the face to the neck? And for me, I match my face to my face, because if I match my face to my neck, y'all see how yellow this is? Like, I do have on contour and bronzer, but if I match my whole face to like this right here, if I sweat and I mess up and swipe my face, it's going to be obvious that this is not the color of my face. And so I'd rather my foundation be my skin color on my face. So if I do happen to wipe it off, it'll still be the same color. You know what I'm saying? And so he was saying, decide, what you want to match, and keep in mind that if you do this, then this might be this, or if you do that, then that might be that. But yeah, I just match the face. Unless they specifically be like, oh, I just want to be all one color. And I'm like, fuck. Because then what if it rubs off on your clothes? Like, say you match your face. Well, no, say you match your neck to your face. And you mess around and, it transfers. It's going to be a whole different color. So it's like, that don't look right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't do that. And sometimes they'll be like, do your ears. I'm like, my ears is different. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. Why y'all in my ears? I really just don't care. What somebody said, one of the Mac dudes, Mac had a master class that was free, and it was over like Zoom or something. And he says whatever he puts on the face, he puts also on the neck. But then they're sitting there with spaghetti strap shirts on. So you have all this space. It ain't nothing that's up here like this. And so, the foundation, he brings everything down, whatever residuals on the brush. When he do the setting powder, whatever's left on the brush, he puts down here. When he put on the bronzer, whatever residual, he's, doing a few swipes on the neck. And I'm just like, I ain't trying to do all that. I mean, you look pretty, but I don't care that much. I don't care. I don't care. Oh, let me see. And when that chick did my face, she did that. And it was all over my collar. I'm just like, see, that's why I don't. That discontinued. What it do, Mr. is excellent. What brand are we talking about? I didn't really care about this setting spray formula. I'm putting all my setting spray liquids in that bottle just for the mister. I've done that before. I forgot what it was I had purchased. I love the mister. I was like, oh, this is nice. But now with Scandinavia, I'm a Scandinavia hoe. That's another hoe I am. You wore a white shirt and makeup was everywhere. Man, when I used to go to church, and the pastor who wanted to stand up in front and hug everybody, this one whole shoulder would be like multiple shades of everything from women hugging him. It would just be, I'll just be like, I'd be like, okay, see you next week. I ain't hugging you at all. Now I don't want all that on my face. And then I'm like, what does his dry cleaning bill look like? It would just be disgusting. He would just have like all sorts of makeup. And to me, it just looked gross because it looked dirty, even though it wasn't dirty. It was makeup, but all them different colors mixed together. Yeah, and I don't wear white at all. No white. And no white in general because I'm messy. That great oversized sweatshirt from YouTube I got. It got stains and stuff on it. I'll be like, man, spaghetti stains. One of them loose shadows I pressed. It kind of, so I got like, and that's a light gray. And I'm upset because I really like wearing that. Although I would have broken that rule, knowing what happens is okay. That have great sprays. The more skin exposed, says K, the more makeup you use. Yeah, the goal is for your body to match. Yeah. But we are comparing ourselves to celebrity. Yeah, because I don't care. And my thing too is, okay, so like today I contoured. I actually used the contour color to contour because y'all know I usually use bronzer and contour interchangeably. So even if I'm taking my foundation down to here, it's going to get cut off by the contour. So it's still going to be, okay, my skin, my face shade, and then this dark shade. So either way, something's not, what's what I'm looking for? Continuous. It's not like a continuous color. And you can see here where this is darker. You know what I'm saying? So if this matches with this, it's still, but then it'll just be 2 colors instead of 3 because it's like 1 color, 2 color, and a 3 color. But to me, something's still going to be off. But yeah, on the runway, I understand. But just like regular people, I would feather foundation and powder out over the chin slightly, but you're not going for coverage. Yeah. Whatever's left of the product. Yeah. Yep. So I learned to take into consideration how long it takes me to use something up and buy fewer backups according to how long it takes to use it up. And that's something I would have only learned over time anyway. Like, how long is it going to take me to finish this foundation? How long is it going to take me to finish this eye cream? You know what I mean? And so I don't beat myself up about having like, I think I still have 6 Peter Thomas Roth potency serums. And I did give like 2 or 3 away because they went on sale, y'all, and I went crazy. They would have off. I bought like 8 of them. This was years ago, but I still got some of those. And I did go back to using it twice a day instead of once a day just to use it up because I am concerned, like, what if the other ones do start to go bad? Because in the live stream, Janice said, skincare does go bad. And I'm like, you know what? She's right. And I had them under there for like 3 years already. So I opened one to try it, and I was using it at night. It wasn't rank. It wasn't bad. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to start using it twice a day until I get down to like 2 backups because it does stay twice a day. My skin was just as happy using it once a day. But I am using it twice a day again just to use it so the other ones don't go bad because they used to be $98. Now they're $105. I don't want that to go bad. So anyway, the other thing I learned, 2 of these are almost the same. Actually, all 3 of these are almost the same. So I'm going to read them all 3 and then go back with the examples. For me, don't be too quick to throw stuff away. Because if I ain't like something, an example I gave recently was this loose ass LaRouche brush. They were half off. Y'all know I like my angled brushes. It says angled shader brush. It says it right on here, girl. You know you can read. Angled shader brush. This don't put no color nowhere because it's too loose. And I'm like, even though it was half off, it was a few dollars, I'm throw it away. And I'm like, no, just wait. I love it, y'all, for putting matte shadow under my eye. That's what I use it for. And I wouldn't have known if I didn't try it. And that's my favorite brush for matte shadows, because some matte shadows are powdery that picks it up well, and because I'm only putting it right here, it goes right there. And so just not to be so quick throwing away stuff. I love Max Stack mascara. This is the elevated one. This wand sucks because it's very plasticky. And I think it might have been Utah. And you were like, don't you have the other wands? So I said, you know what, you're right. So I was going to throw it away. And I said, you know what, you're right. And I have disposables right here. I have disposables, sponge tips, mascara wands, lipstick applicators. And so I still use it. I just use it with a disposable. So not being so quick to throw stuff away, like just trying something different. To your point, Dion, most artists would also bring bronzer, contour, foundation down to the chest if the outfit allowed. Yeah, and that's what that Mac dude was saying. He said whatever he puts on the face, whatever's left on the brush, he brings down into this area. And I'm like, okay. I'm not working on runway people yet. We're saying yet. Okay, wouldn't it be cool as hell if we both ended up working like the same job for like a company or a show or something like that? That would be hella cool. What you think? We both show up and be like, hey, Dion, True, what's up? That would be fucking awesome. Your leg bronzer makeup. Yeah, there's a lot of body makeup brands. Yeah, and they do. And I do know they do that. Friggin' Jennifer Lopez. She was doing some shoot or something. Yeah, she is anyway. This was years ago I saw this. She had put her foot up somewhere and she was like, don't forget the leg. It might have been with Scott Barnes. When, you know, yeah, he was bronzing the legs and spraying them and all. I was like, okay. But that's what he do for a living. But yeah, they do that. And that's got to be, so I guess you put it on and then you walk your walk. Because it's not like you're going to change. Because when I wear something fancy, when I come home, I change. So I'm going to have makeup on all my clothes. But yeah, I was just like, okay, that's a little bit too much. But yeah, Tanya said she got too many neck folds for it to matter what color my neck is. Tanya, that was funny. Oh my gosh. I think that would be cool though, Kay, if like somewhere years from now we both ended up on the same shoot. I think that would be awesome. Are you doing a little bit awesome? Or are you just like, girl, I ain't trying to work with you? And so just not to be quick to throw stuff away. That's something I learned recently. Like recently. Like just maybe like last summer. Whenever it was I bought these brushes. Because I was really just like, this piece of shit. And I found the use for it that I love it. Another thing, which goes in line with that one. I told y'all these three tie in together. Some items are workable if I put in the effort. I.e. using a different brush for a different effect or using different color combinations. Because sometimes I don't like a color. Like Circle Loco, that pink cotton candy makes me dusty as hell. Fun to Mine, that pastel blue makes me dusty as hell. But if I put just a thin line, so it's just finding a different way, like taking my time. Oh, you were doing the pound. All right. Thank you. And so that was something I learned too, is just find a different way. Or if like the oranges in there, they don't show up on me. They're the same exact color. One is metallic and one is matte. They do not show up on me. But just using above something else. So just learning just to use something in a different way. If it don't show up, use it to blend out something else, because it ain't gonna show up anyway. And then the look will be, have a little more blend to it or whatever. If I want to blend, because today I wanted it like this today. And so, yeah, because if I try something the way it said and I didn't like it, I would just throw it away. One time used, didn't like it, throw it away. And I don't know where along the line, I'm like, girl, that was like $35. Like, just try it a different way. Or using it as a base shadow shade or, whatever. And just not being so quick to toss stuff. Tanya said if you were on set, they might use face tapes. There would definitely be a solution. I use them too. Yeah. It's so many different things that they be doing. I just like, damn. Whew. The other thing, try more hacks and tips. And this one I haven't done. One of the makeup dudes was saying this during their master class because it was two different dudes. So one was doing one type of look, the other one was doing, a different type of look. And so the one guy, because somebody asked, how do you keep foundation from wearing off? I think they said on their nose. And I've heard some people say foundation does not stay on their chin. That blend in, creating middle shades to help transition shades. Yeah, and I always don't like, for me, because I like grunge stuff, which always is not neat. But it does help. It really does. I just be wanting something different for me. And what's ironic is I do that for clients. I do transition first, and then it creates me. Y'all see what I do for me. So if I have on makeup, like say I had this makeup on, and we're at the conference again where I did the looks for the ones that was going to the formal dinner, and one she had to give a speech, so she was going to be on stage, and then you see her big face on the monitor. Not that her face is big, but you'll see her on a big monitor and all that. And so she asked me to do her makeup. And so say I had this face on for me, and somebody say, oh, I want colorful makeup. I'd be like, colorful like this? And usually they're like, no, like not like that. And when I ask that question, I'm usually being sarcastic because I know they not trying to really do all that. But I'll be like, colorful like this, or colorful with just like one pop of color. And usually it's one pop of color, and they just want to shimmer on the lid, just like a natural look or something like that. But I always say that because it makes me laugh when they're like, no, not like that. And then they're like, no, but it looks pretty on you though. And I'll be cracking up inside like they fell for that. Me and my clients be having fun. But try more hacks. Or what he was saying was, because somebody asked, well, they were like, no matter what I do, foundation does not stay on my nose. And he said he puts a MAC paint pot, whichever one is closest to their complexion, he puts that on their nose, and then he'll do the foundation, and it stays all day. And I'm like, damn, that's genius. And so that would work too if somebody were like, okay, foundation never stays on my chin. Put down a paint pot. Contemplative state is almost my complexion, almost. It's a little mustard on some parts of my face that's darker than other parts of my face. But then you're still going to put foundation over it. But I was like, that is genius. You mean in all aspects of makeup? I agree, because since I started actually using contour as a contour, and then I put on a bronzer, a blush, and a highlighter just as a base. And then I still go in with either a House Labs bronzer, blush, and a highlighter, and or I'll use Hourglass face palette, bronzer, blush, and highlighter. So that base thing, and I do like how it's been looking. And so I have been doing that maybe for like the last week when I've been layering like that. And so that the first thing, and that's with this matte palette that I've been using. And so this is just like the base thing: contour, bronzer, blush, highlighter, and then, put on the real stuff, as I say, even though that is real, but like what I want to actually show up on top of that. And I've really been just liking how that is. And it does help with the blend. Everything just seems to flow a lot better. And then honestly, by the time I get to the Hourglass finishing powder, everything is going to be flowing anyway. And then once I spray my face with this, and I spray my client's face with this, they be like, ooh, thank you. I'm like, you're welcome. And so those are like the main things that I've learned. And some of these actually that I'm looking at it was in like the last 2 years. I already knew not to get subscription boxes anymore, but like the other stuff. And keeping in mind always, everything doesn't work for everybody. And so when I hear people say, oh, you have to do this, I'm like, I don't have to do shit. Like everything does not work the same for everybody. And I do feel like a lot of the beauty tube people forget that, and they're the ones that say you have to do this and have to do that. I'm like, everything doesn't work for everybody, because something that don't work for me, it'll work for somebody else. Something that worked for them, it's not going to work for me. And so I think just keeping that in perspective, that everybody doesn't want to do things the way we do them, either because they just want something different or because it doesn't work for them and they tried it already. And that's just with life in general. Like, I don't need to understand why people do what they do. They do what works for them. If it's working for them, like, who am I to say they shouldn't? You know what I'm saying? And so not to have that judgment that, well, they should do this, or I don't understand this, or it's okay. We're not supposed to understand everything that everybody else does. The thing is understand ourselves. That self-awareness thing. That's the thing. Um, but so what's something else that y'all have learned? Those are the main things that I learned. The main thing was everything doesn't work on everybody. When I was new to makeup, I was spending money like crazy, and I'm like, I don't like it, but I was still buying everything. Hey, Marion, thank you. We're talking about things, excuse me for smacking, we're talking about things that we've learned throughout our makeup journey. And so if you want to chime in with something you have learned, you can. And if anybody else has anything else they want to share, we can. And if not, we can wrap up this live stream. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is written down on this piece of paper. Tomorrow, sheesh. Tomorrow is a cranberry smoky eye with candy cane eyeliner or candy cane brows. And then they said purple liner with white stripes or purple brows with white stripes. So that's tomorrow's live stream, and that'll be interesting. I haven't looked at my palettes to figure out where I'm gonna get cranberry from, but I know I have it because I got it. We got all the colors. We know we got all the colors. Let me leave that over here. Joe, lovely Joe says, shadow base on the nose. Yeah, and I don't do that. I don't have a problem with that. But yeah, for people who like the foundation don't stay, then yeah, put a base on the nose. Joe says she finally learned what shade foundation I am. And that's another reason I don't switch foundations. Fenty 335 all day, every day. Because it would take me so much. And I never liked mixing foundations because I felt like it was a waste because you're never going to mix them equally, which means there's going to be one of this one left or one of that one left. And then foundations cost too much to be throwing them away. And so I always hated mixing. And then too, it still would look off. And so when I found this one, I'm like, yeah. And that's what I've been using ever since. Yeah, it's hard. It's concealer too. It's like hard to find like what works. And then because my tan level varies, well, I don't have a tan, but because I do tan easily, like my complexion easily changes like every other month, like seriously. Tomorrow is the first day Tanya says back in the office from being off since the 23rd. Oh gosh, I know you don't want to. Well, have a good first day back. I know that's gonna be like, oof. You're into cosmetology. Also says Marion. Awesome. You love doing makeup and nails and hair. Well, you see my nails and you see my but I do love makeup. I do love playing the makeup. Tanya says she's not mixing because why should I have to pay double for something somebody else can immediately find their shade for? Yeah, and again, I found one that works for me, and that's what it is. That is what it is. And some people are good at that, though. They're like, oh, I mix this with that, and I don't want to do all that. I'm like, I buy it, I want it to work. I don't want to work at it for it to work. You know what I'm saying? But that's the me thing. I'm lazy. I just want it to work. I want to put it on and it work. Those color combinations are what. Thank you. Yeah, I intentionally did them all because I had 8 shades to use. And we used all 8 shades. And this is what we came up with. Not when they're buying $50 or more foundation. Yo, they crazy. I mean, I'm not going to say they crazy. Fenty is what, 40 something? And so when I hear a foundation, $70 something, $90 something, I'm like, oh, fuck that. Nah. No. And they're like, I only use this one when I'm going out somewhere fancy. Look, I'm wearing Fenty every time I wear makeup. That's it, period. Heck, buying 2 $10 foundations is too much in the grand scheme of things. These days, yeah, prices is outrageous. Why? I splurged on ground beef. Okay, at BJ's, I think it's like 1.33 pounds, and they have three of them, like kind of perforated together. It used to be like $19, $17, something like that. Why now? I'm stuck. Well, we know why. We know why. The suckers is $24.95. And granted, you do still get the same amount, 1.3 ounces, and it's perforated, and it's three of them. So you're talking about almost about 4 pounds of beef for $26, $25. But still, I was just like, maybe I just won't be eating beef. The ground turkey price stayed the same. 3 pouches is $14.99. So I'm like, I'll just buy more ground turkey. But I was feeling good the last time I went shopping. I said, you know what? Let me just get two of them. Y'all, that's $50 on beef. That used to be like almost half that. And I'm just like, this is fucking nuts. And we know why. So yeah, Tanya, $10. Because I really thought I was going to not be eating beef anymore. Because I'm like, this is getting expensive. I don't buy steaks anymore. Ribeyes at Sam's used to be anywhere from like $25 to $32. Now they want like 40 something, $50 for a ribeye. Hell no. 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 You're watching you all the way from... Oh, well, welcome from St. Thomas. That is exciting. Thank you for popping in, Marion. We'll be back here tomorrow night if you're able to make it. Don't forget to subscribe, girl. Oh, that's exciting. I keep telling y'all, the Crazy Throat Nation is worldwide. I keep telling y'all that. Oh, that makes me smile. You see my face? I'm like so excited. Y'all are right, but we have to look at it from 3 different perspectives. One as an enthusiast, one as a casual. Yeah, casual makeup wearer, and one as an artist. You will consider products depending on category you fall into. I just did. Oh, thank you, Marion. And the lesson I had talked about learning that things are workable. If I put a foundation on a client and it's just might be like a hair or two light, by the time I do setting powder, bronzer, blush, highlighter, finishing powder, it looks perfect. And so there's times when I'm just like, it's going to work out. You know what I mean? So if it's just like a hair off, I'm just like, by the time I get done, it's going to look like a perfect match. And it really does. So even as somebody who does makeup, like I don't be like, oh my gosh, it's just like a hair or two late. Because by the time I do all the other stuff, it looks perfect. Well, I should say it looks like it's their skin color. I'll say it that way. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know if I'm an enthusiast or I guess I'm a casual wearer. But yeah, for other people though, I know it's going to work out. And so that just goes back to, we can make stuff. Usually we can make stuff work. Like if it's like 5 shades too light, oh, hell no. Like, no. No. We got to double up and layer something, whatever. But if it's just like a hair, I'm going to work that out. I gave me a whole 12 ounce ribeye dinner with 2 sides, all the rolls. I came from Texas Roadhouse for $23.99. That is funny, Tanya. I haven't been there in so long. And they do offer a free thing for Veterans Day, but it'd be so damn crowded. The last 2 years, I didn't even go. Yeah, if artists mixing would make sense. I definitely do a lot of mixing for, what's the word? Color matching for like under their eyes or like this area if it's a person of color. Well, even people that's not people of color, sometimes they have like, the mustache area. So I do more mixing for like the base stuff than I do for foundations. Yeah, I do a lot of mixing for color correction. Excuse me. You did too last night, Marion. I want to go to Texas Roadhouse. Oh, man. I told y'all about the time I ended up with 2 dates at Texas Roadhouse on Veterans Day. It was so funny. Yeah, pretty much, yeah, it's workable. We're going to make it work. So I was sitting there, and I just went with me because I don't have a problem going out to eat by myself. I really don't. And so I went, and it's just one person. So it's like, okay, well, just wait with everybody else. And of course, the waiting area was full, and it was people sitting outside. They give you the little thing that buzzes when your table's ready. It's packed, as every Veterans Day is packed. Um, and so I was sitting there, and then these two guys came in. One was white and one was black. And so they checked in, and they told him have a seat. So they sat next to me. So the black guy sat next to me, and the white guy was on the other side of him. And they called for them first. And so the black guy stood up, and he started to walk over to where the podium thing was, whatever. And then he looked back, and he came back. He was like, "You were here before us." I said, "Yeah, but it's that, your table's ready." He said, "Come eat with us." I was like, and I looked at the person, the dude he was with, and he was like, and so I was like, okay. And so them two sat on one side of the table. I was on the other side of the table. And me and the black guy, like, we talked off and on the whole time. The white guy was real quiet. He looked like he was still somewhat shell shocked. Like, I can tell he had some type of trauma that happened, because he was just really quiet. And y'all know my face be talking for me. And so at one point, the black guy said, he looked at me, and he looked at his friend. He was like, yeah, he's really quiet. He doesn't like to talk about military stuff too much anymore. And I'm like, that's understandable. He did speak a few times. At one point, I said something like directly to him, and he looked at me and smiled. So I'm like, okay, like, he's not like, why is this bitch at our table? But it was just so fucking cool, though. And before we all left, the black guy was like, same time next year. I'm like, yeah. And I said, you know what? I said, this is so cool, because I came here by myself, and I ended up with 2 dates. And that's when the other guy smiled. He looked at me and just smiled. And I'm like, yeah, okay. But that was just so freaking cool. I didn't know them people. They didn't know me. Look at me. The other guy was like nodding. He looked at me and was like, yeah. But yeah, that was so cool. I was like, oh my gosh. Plus the artist, you making money back. Yeah. I don't mix foundations. I'll color match with cream products, the Makeup Forever products, or the MAC products. But foundations, I still don't ever mix them, because once you color, well, it could go bad if you don't. Yeah, if you do like the wrong undertone or whatever. But like I was saying earlier, if it's just a hair off, by the time you do all the other stuff, it's gonna look right. You prefer to eat out even anywhere by myself? Yeah, I have no problems with that. Tomorrow we'll be celebrating your birthday and your 36th wedding anniversary, both in the same day. Happy birthday and happy anniversary. That is awesome. That's exciting. And so, yeah, so a lot of stuff that some people say and do, excuse me, I just take it with a grain of salt, and I may try it or I may not. It just depends. And honestly, some stuff I will try. I'm like, you know what? Let me just see. And then sometimes it's like, okay, that's nice. But then I'm like, was that worth the hassle? And then I'm like, no. So then I still don't do it. So I still don't do it. And so it's kind of like 50-50. Doing certain things. But if it makes sense, like when he said, put a paint pot on the nose, if they say foundation never stays on their nose, or put paint pot on their chin before you do, the foundation, like that, to me, I would definitely do. Because to me, using something like a paint pot is equivalent to using like a MAC cream product from their sculpting thing, or one of the Makeup Forever, face palettes, because all of those are completely cream. So to me, this is not that different from that. So I'd be like, yeah, I would definitely try. But some other stuff, you telling me I gotta do a cartwheel, stand on my head, and count my toes, and wiggle my nose, like I ain't doing all that. I ain't doing all that. All right, so anything else y'all want to share? If not, we can go. We will be here tomorrow to do a look, and I do need to look and see what cranberry colors I have. We might use lethal, because I know I got 12 BYOPs. Each one is 12 shadows. That's 108 damn shadows. I know it's got to be a cranberry in there. I did just do the red monochromatic look for that. The title was so friggin' long. Monochromatic Months collab. And that was a red look. I used Future Flames for that. I really like that look too. I was surprised, because y'all know I'd be like, monochromatic looks is boring. But I really like that one. Yeah, I'm going to look at my lethals. Maybe we'll use that. But, or be simple. Let me look at this dramatic palette that's not dramatic. If I use this, it would be that one for the cranberry. I don't know. We'll see. I have to see what I haven't used in a while, too, because I do keep track of how many times I use palettes. I just used this recently. It would be that one for cranberry. You are welcome. Oh, I read that as if he dies, you mean if he does. I'm going to say, that's why I didn't read it at first, because I'm just like, I don't want to read if he... That's why I was looking like, if he does, which he's pretty good not to forget, but I will remind him. Okay, yeah, I was looking at that like, hey. I am in the state of Delaware, the first state of the United States. Not that that's important, but along the lines of mixing stuff up, using stuff in different ways, I think I showed y'all that I messed up the bronze palette again. But I've learned something. I do like that I can do that. So this has Bloom, bronze, of course, and it has retro glam shades in here and Yucca palette shades in here. I love this because it looks quirky. It's like, girl, what? But it's exciting to me because it's like, okay, what can I do? I haven't used it since it's been this way once. Since it's been this way. But what I also learned is, and it came from me putting my other palettes in the Macari store, because I mixed the palettes. Like, some people don't want them mixed. And so when I refreshed my Natasha's before the no-buy, I said, I'm going to just leave them how they are. Retro glam is going to be retro glam. Glam is going to be glam. Xenon is going to be Xenon. And that's it. Because if they want that palette, whenever I do put it in the store, they will have that palette. I do have likes on the ones I mixed, and they were looking nice. The retro glam and glam one was really nice, and the glam with retro glam was really nice. And y'all were like, yeah, that looks better. I prefer that one, and y'all would buy it. But if somebody wants, the retro glam, they're going to want retro glam. So I've learned, leave that like it is, because I can still just mix without changing the shadows. So that's something I recently learned. My Xenon with retro glam shades, that one did sell, and something else sold. Thank you, Marion. Yeah, I was looking at your comment, and I'm like, and I didn't want to finish reading it because I'm just like, I don't know. Yeah, but then when I did read it to myself, I'm like, okay, if he does. It is. It's quirky. It's really quirky, and some people would think it's chaotic because some people will rearrange their palettes to be monochromatic, and for me, it makes it less interesting and it makes it boring to me because all I see is monochromatic. Where this, just like with Circo Loco, I love that friggin' palette. I have done 31 looks with Circo Loco. It inspires me so much because it is not the typical color story, and so I am excited to get in this because I'm looking at it now like. It reminds me a little bit of Vela Tofana, this middle row right here, because that one, I was excited about this one too. The one I was hoping Janessa would talk me out of, but I didn't tell her. That's why I was sending her the picture. We have this shade 20 times. Green and brown. But yeah, so, and maybe it's that yellow that's making me think of this one. But yeah, it's quirky, and I'm loving it. I'm excited to get to it. So I'm going to start that number off at number 1 and not as bronze palette, since now it's like, how many different palettes? 4 different palettes in here? I like it all jumbled up. Janet, right? Yeah, it inspires me. It does, because it's like, ooh, what can I do? And I know it's going to be something different. So I am excited about it. And there's no cranberry in here. Ooh. Unless we use this one. Trying to get the glare off. Unless we use this one. So maybe I'll use... I think we'll use this one tomorrow. And when I put it together, I realized these are all the metallics down here. And all the rest are mattes. A few of these are the cream to powder. I think we'll use this one tomorrow. This is going to be quirky like this right here. Ooh. I'm going to leave this out. We're going to use that one tomorrow. We're going to use that shade for our cranberry. That shade right there. I'm excited. I'm dancing in my seat. Okay, so y'all... No, I'm the only one here that's in Delaware, Marion. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we're all over the place. Yeah, and Eden, she's not here. She's in New Zealand. She pops in sometimes, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. You'll be visiting your family in Pennsylvania next month? That's exciting. Hopefully the weather will be kind of warm. Hopefully. It got warm a little bit and then it got cold again a little bit, but oh, you're moving? Oh, I don't know what I thought. Okay. You're moving with your family to Pennsylvania in February. Oh. I hope it's a good moving day as far as weather and traffic. Yeah, I hope so. Moving can be exciting, but also overwhelming for me. Um, yeah, I like it jumbled too, Janet. But we like different stuff, though. You know, I mean, they're different than the mainstream, I should say. So yeah. And I love all the different color lipsticks you be wearing in your Instagram pictures. I'd be like, yes, yes, bold colors, bold colors. Yeah, that is a big move. It might not. What might be snow for you, but over here it might not be snow. Yeah, but it is winter, so like yeah, day by day, like however the weather's going to be. It's snowing according to your son who lives there. I was in Baltimore, Maryland yesterday, and it was sleet for like 40 minutes and then it stopped. But it was like 47 degrees, and so it didn't stick, it didn't freeze or anything like that. And it didn't do anything here in Delaware. Get some boots, big coats, and shovels. You have to go to Pennsylvania at the end of this month before work. Oh, we are going to meet up one day, Janet. Yeah, because we neighbors. Because I grew up in New Jersey. Yes, but we're packed and ready to go. All right. Thank you. Same to you. Yeah, we're going to wrap up, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you to the replay crew. Replay crew, feel free to leave lessons that you learned during your makeup journey down below. Let's learn from each other, help each other out. Because sometimes somebody may say something and we're like, like what I was saying earlier when Monica was saying about the shades and stuff like that. And so, yeah, let's continue to help each other out, continue to support each other. I appreciate each and every one of you. No, I was there for working, and it wasn't anything church-like. And it wasn't anything like that. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't anything like that. But so oh, my leg just tried to cramp up. So we're gonna go, y'all. We'll be back here tomorrow night. Everybody stay safe, stay warm, have a good night, a good day, good evening, wherever you are in the world, especially for replay crew. Make sure you thumbs up the video, consider joining the membership if the perks appeal to you, and you all will see me tomorrow. Wearing it or not buying it. As always, self-acceptance, self-love. Wait, Tanya learn. You don't have to explain. Yeah, you don't. Don't feel bad about your makeup. Wear it and rock it. Because we trolls, damn, and that's what we do. As always, self-acceptance, self-love. That is the Crazy Troll Nation way. Thank you, and you all will see me tomorrow night. Bye.